Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Coffee Talk, where I take an interesting topic and give it to you in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee, make sure that it is piping hot, add yourself a little cream and sugar. My favorite creamer is French vanilla. And if coffee is not what you do, perhaps a nice steaming herbal tea is more what you do. Make sure that tea is steeped to perfection, and add a little honey or agave. My favorite tea, lavender tea. And if tea is not what you do, perhaps a nice fruity smoothie is more what you do. And sit back and get ready for today's hot topic, which is the realignment. Why Black voters are leaving the Democratic Party. So sit back and enjoy this hot coffee. For decades, it was one of the most stable facts in American politics. The Black vote was a solid, reliable base for the Democratic Party. Exit polls for generations showed support hovering between 85 and 90%. It was a partnership forged in the Civil Rights era and considered unbreakable. But something is shifting. A quiet earthquake is rumbling beneath the surface of American electoral politics. More and more Black Americans are registering as independents or unaffiliated, and a small but significant number are openly questioning their allegiance to the Democratic Party. Today, we're diving into why. Why is this historically loyal voting bloc starting to reevaluate its relationship with the Democratic Party? This isn't about a mass exodus to the GOP, but a move towards independence, skepticism, and a demand to be earned, not assumed. Reason 1, the unfulfilled promise. What have you done for me lately? The most powerful and pervasive reason is a deep-seated feeling of unmet expectations. Many Black voters, especially those over 40, feel that decades of loyal support have not yet yielded proportional progress on the issues that matter most to their communities. We're talking about systemic issues like the racial wealth gap, which has barely budged. We're talking about criminal justice reform, where promises have been made, but transformative federal legislation has stalled. We're talking about housing, education, and healthcare disparities that persist generation after generation. And there is a growing sentiment that we've been taken for granted. The feeling is that the Democratic Party shows up every 2 to 4 years with a robust get out the vote effort, but in between elections, the sense of urgency fades. The relationship can be transactional, and many Black voters are questioning if they're getting a fair return for their political investment. Reason 2, the rise of a politically diverse Black middle class. The classic Democratic coalition model often treats Black voters as a monolith with a single set of priorities. But the Black community, like any other, is incredibly diverse in its economic standing and, consequently, its political interests. The growth of a Black middle and upper middle class has created a segment of voters whose priorities are shifting. They may be more concerned with entrepreneurship, tax policies, school choices for their children, and public safety in their neighborhoods than a traditional progressive agenda. For these voters, the Democratic Party's focus can feel out of step. They may perceive certain progressive policies, like calls to defund the police, as threatening the safety of the communities they've worked hard to build. They may feel their economic aspirations are hampered by high taxes and regulations. This doesn't automatically mean that they're going to become Republicans. It makes them open to listening, and crucially, it makes them independent. Reason 3, the generational divide. Woke isn't enough. Then there is the powerful force of generational change. Younger Black voters, Gen Z, and millennials did not live through the civil rights movement. Their political identity was not forged in the battle between Democrats and Dixiecrats. Their loyalty isn't a given. For many of these young voters, the Democratic Party's language on race can feel performative. They see the Black Lives Matter signs in wealthy neighborhoods and the corporate solidarity statements, but they question whether these symbolisms is backed by substantive policy. They are also more likely to be frustrated with the party on issues beyond race. They're concerned about the cost of living, student debt, and climate change, and they don't see either party offering bold enough solutions. Their progressivism is often more anti-establishment, making them skeptical of long-standing political institutions, including the Democratic Party. They aren't abandoning progressive values. They're abandoning the traditional vessel for those values. Reason 4, the influence of independent voices and media. For decades, political messaging for Black America was filtered through a few key institutions: the church, traditional civil rights organizations, and mainstream media. The Democratic Party had a direct line. The internet and social media have completely shattered that monopoly. Now Black voters are exposed to a wide spectrum of political thought from independent voices within their own community. Podcasters, YouTube commentators, and social media influencers who are openly critical of both parties. Figures on the right and the left are making the case that blind loyalty to the Democrats has been detrimental. They argue for a strategy of political negotiation, leverage the Black vote to get concessions from both sides. This message of empowerment through independence is resonating, especially with a generation that gets its news from algorithms, not anchors. What does this mean for American politics? And what are the takeaways? Black Americans are not becoming a Republican base. The move is largely towards independence. This is a declaration of agency. It's the political equivalent of saying, my vote is not owned. It must be earned. This shift has profound implications. It makes the Black vote more fluid and less predictable. It means Democrats can no longer rely on near unanimous support and must actively campaign on policies that deliver tangible results. It also means Republicans, if they are serious about expanding their tent, have an opening to make their case on issues like the economy and education, though they have significant historical baggage to overcome. The Great Black Realignment is a move towards a more complex, more demanding, and ultimately healthier political landscape. The era of taking the most loyal voters for granted is coming to an end. So what do you think? Are you a voter who has reconsidered your party affiliation? Let me know down in the comments. I know for a fact that I have not been a Democrat for years. And my son, who just turned 30, has always been an independent voter. Now it's time for me to go get myself another cup of coffee and start on my next commentary for you. But in between now and then, I would love it if you drop your comments down in the comment section so we can continue this discussion. I, of course, will leave my resources in the description of this video. Now, of course, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so that you know about all my upcoming videos. And also, I would love it if you would join my membership for the channel. Become a Dragonfly. Membership starts at $2.99. And also, follow me on my other social media. You can find me over on TikTok and Instagram as DCV Purple Diva. You can also find me over on X as Purple Diva Den, and check out my other YouTube channel, The Purple Diva Den, where I do spoken word. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side, and thank you for watching. I'm out, you guys. Bye.